This is Day Caliber episode 6. And in this one, we're getting straight to business. We're getting straight to business. Because we got to get back to playing. And even though we're enjoying the process, we can't be some day one jabronis. We got places to go. So today we getting straight to business. The soundtrack is going well, and it's ready to play in the background. Characters, I'm able to do moves, so the visual effects are there. So all we gotta do is just get the business. That's all we got to do, man. We just gotta get straight to business, man. So that's what we doing. I got the coffee. It's already made. It's already made. We don't have to do that today. We just gotta get straight to business. Oh my goodness. But the one thing I have to do though is I gotta vape. I gotta vape. Why is this? Because I gotta be responsible. I gotta be responsible. Can't be, you know, we gotta be efficient here. Efficient, responsible, all right, resourceful, and what else? We got to be the most I don't even know. I want to say max strength. How about that? This is what's going on. Over here trying to vape with this lighter. But once I get through this, we're going to get straight to business. It's just dealing with butane is a learning experience. Like they're like little torches, and the problem, I mean, it is what it is, but it's like they're torches and they have like all these different mechanisms going on. They're these little mechanical torches. And it's almost as if most of these butane lighters are very cheap. However, there is a variable of pressure that goes into butane lighters. And there's also a variable of maintenance that goes into them too, to where if you don't really know what these things are, then these things go bad. So it's kind of like you got to sit up here and learn. Like, my thing is this: I'm more than willing to learn when I get a good, when I make a nice investment in a butane lighter. But I'm not going to be doing that until I make sure I know how to keep these things functional. Cause you'll sit here with like a butane lighter, and you'll just be like, "Oh man, this butane lighter is so nice." And guess what? It's also butane, so I'm gonna have it forever. And then next thing you know, it stops working, and you don't know how to fix it. And then you sit there and you put it to the side with a whole bunch of other lighters you plan on repairing, and it never happens. And a lot of this is like a learning process. So there's that. And a lot of it also is pressure. And I think there's a pressure element to it. You can have too much pressure. You can have too little pressure. If it's too much pressure, then it'll operate so fast that it'll blow itself out. If there's too little pressure, then what will happen is it'll just be very faint. So you have to basically now it's almost better to have too much pressure, because with too much pressure you can always throttle it down. See, and this is the thing. This is the reason why you got to do research. You have to literally sit out here and study this stuff. I'm really gonna have to like sit here and like do some learning over these torches, because I need one that simply works. Now I know there are larger butane lighters, like more powerful ones and stuff like that. There's also electric lighters, which is something that's kind of interesting nowadays. They basically like heat up. They coil lighters is an interesting choice when it comes to vaping. It seems to be the agreed upon ultimate Euro decision is to use a coil lighter. Basically what a coil lighter is it's basically like a car lighter. So the thing about torches is torches are very fast. Electric lighters, like car lighters, they're just very hot surfaces, and I don't know, it's just using them, it's just, I don't know. I like the idea of a torch, really. But see, some coil lighters have these interesting systems where it's like they use a coil and they manage to like almost make a flame with it. I don't even know how to explain it. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like hybrid lighters. So here's the thing with like smoking and gaming, and I'm not talking about tobacco. You want to vape. you want to vape because like I always tell people all the time about this whole entire quality thing. Unless you really have high quality, you never want to smoke. I like best case scenario, you do not want to smoke unless you have high grade because at that point, you have to understand it's the most primitive form of the process. So it's not clean and it can be pretty draining and over time it will do damage to your system if you smoke heavily for long periods. Eventually things start to get bad, you know. Furthermore, naturally you're more likely to be tired. So there's that. But then additionally, you just want potent side effects. Most likely you're going to be playing indoors, you know. So there's that. You never want to smoke indoors. I don't care what you're smoking. You never really want to smoke indoors. Why is this? Because you're basically smoking the environment because all these particles are in the air. You underestimate that. Why is this? Because you're literally setting this stuff on fire, and then you're ingesting it in your lungs. Like this is not a good process indoors. This is another reason why you want to vape. But truly speaking, and this is just as important of a reason, even though for me it stands out to be one of the greatest reasons, is expense. You don't want to really be spending that much. You want to be as preserving as possible. And see, the thing is, a bong is nice in terms of like preservation. However, you still got the combustion. You got to make sure the water chamber is all in order and stuff like that. And furthermore, the same indoor-outdoor properties still apply. Unfortunately. And so day caliber is all about the morning. And the thing about vaping is the process of it is not as aesthetic. It's not as easy. It's not as, homely feeling, However, like I said, ain't nobody got time to be sitting over here going through packs and stuff like that. Being all packed out, you know? You don't want to be packed out with this. Like being like a stoner gamer is not necessarily like, going semi-pro. So there's also those variables as well. But I mean, just really just being resourceful. It's the morning time. You just want to do a quick, you just want to pack a punch and get straight to this business. Keep your teeth clean. Oh. And that goes for a lot of things, a lot of things like you want to vape, that if you are going to like if this thing is really working for you, if it's really working for you, not necessarily, I don't want to say too much, man. We just stumbled upon that conversation anyway. We're getting straight to business. Another thing you have to also remember is that A nice fan wave machine is really nice.
Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold.
So one thing I've come to realize, and this is just by getting a gold without really trying with Cassandra, is that if I'm new to a character, I might as well aim for golds. I might as well aim for golds and easy. Because I'm gonna have to get easy golds anyway. I've just been kind of offsetting them, the easy golds, because I remember them as not being easy to get, but I also underestimate just how much better I am at playing the game now than I was then.
The wait is over.
So this is cool. And then another thing too is I'm gonna start off in training just because the thing is this. I know I can play against a computer, like, and let's say for example, like,
welcome to the stage of history retold.
Fight through with but see, the thing about Hilde is this.
Hilda.
When it comes to, like, I can fight through the computer with Hilde and go through the process naturally with Hilde. The reality is this. I need to be able to use the RPG elements, and I cannot sit there and try to guess them out because they require preferences. So for this reason, I need to look at the command list just to jot down just some basic RPG elements so I can make sure I use them when I play against a computer. Because you just don't want to sit here and spend like 40 minutes going through the computer and then, like, you know, going through the going through, like, you know, the pure process and you recognize that there are there are certain roadblocks with certain characters. Certain characters, the RPG elements carry a lot more impact. You know, like with this sort of contrast here between Hilde and Ivy. It's like with Ivy, the RPG elements just don't really matter as much. With Hilde, on the other hand, it's just kind of like without the RPG elements, the character is not the same. Same thing could be said for Cassandra. Without the RPG elements, it's just not the same. So some characters naturally make it's a lot more of a natural process. Like with Nightmare, it's more of a natural process to use the RPG elements, and then with other characters it's not so natural, and this is the case with Hilde. One character that for whatever reason they've made it a easier process is a character I don't actually have, and that's Setsuka. The problem and the flaw with that in this case with Soul Calibur is that Setsuka is supposed to be input intensive and making the RPG elements of her character streamlined. If they are, because I'll be honest, I'm not like a Setsuka player, but from what I can tell, it seems as though it's streamlined similar to like Nightmare, where it just seems like the RPG elements manage to work regardless of how you play. with characters like that, you wouldn't necessarily have to go to training mode, but in this case, it's not the case. Same thing with like Raphael to like a large extent. It's like you can't really guess a lot of his inputs because of how specific they are. So with characters like this, you just might as well just go ahead and go to training mode before playing the computer.
Ivy.
I'll end this in no time.
I just gotta get some basic stuff down.
Fight!
Another thing with Hell Day 2 is when using meter, a lot of like the meter is the soul charge state is not the same as the weapon charge state like it is for Cassandra. In other words, like if I do this,
Ally of the cursed sword, prepare thyself.
I still have to do this
Blade of the sword.
in order for the sword to work.
Huh. Sword of the spear.
In order for the spear to work. So it's like there's 3 separate move lists and they build upon each other. So there's basically 3 tiers. So you have a weapon charge state, which is basically semi-soul charge, and then you have a soul charge state, which is basically that, and then you can also have the weapons charged as well. These are RPG elements. These are aspects of magic, you know, some type of talismans. I don't know what these people are doing, but you know, maybe they have some sort of pendants or something like that. So these are RPG elements, and back on track, when you have them all together,
Ally of the cursed sword, prepare thyself.
you know, you can do everything.
Behold.
But the move lists are different. So I have to figure out what the move lists are through each phase, so when I play against a computer I can just have a little bit more to aim for. Because I mean, doing this,
Fight!
See what I'm saying? Like even certain things like this, certain moves like that, it seems as though they require all three tiers to be satisfied in order to be practical. So it's like I just want to go ahead and just learn this stuff early because that's basically what Hill Day pretty much is. I mean, from what I can understand, like that's pretty much what Hill Day is. Like you gotta basically sit here and do all this charge stuff. And so it's like 3 different tiers of command lists, and they all have prerequisites in order to reach them. So basically my objective is just learning all the prerequisites and all of the moves in between those prerequisites. So I can just practice meeting those prerequisites as fast as possible because the computer isn't going to give me a challenge. The time is going to give me a challenge, and I'm not going to sit there and waste my time just mashing things out. At least I can work on something.
Ally of the cursed sword, prepare thyself. Swear to the spear.
You understand? So this is basically what's going on. Random slaves. But because Hill Day's moves require prerequisites, they usually have really good attributes. And the same thing was kind of similar for Setsuka. It just seems like Setsuka doesn't require the levels because a lot of the traffic is kind of like over the top, and it just seems like anybody can do it. And this is what we're working on at this stage of the character. Once I start playing more difficult game modes, then we'll be learning more difficult fighting variables. Okay. So this is something that happens while you're soul charged. So let's see what's going on with this.
Ally of the cursed sword, prepare thyself.
Hold on.
Behold my power. The world roars. It fights. It tears asunder.
So I'm assuming that this move. Hold on.
Face my fury.
Wow. Okay, so maybe when I'm soul charged, the sword stays charged.
Ally of the cursed sword, prepare thyself.
Wow, it's still there. Okay. What is this? Alright. Let's see this. Alright, so look at this. Yeah, see this it's not charged. It's not charged. So I'm assuming that this attack is gonna charge. I'm assuming that this should charge. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. It semi looks like as if it could charge. We'll see what happens.
Ally of the cursed sword.
If it's just simply a short extension, I don't understand. Alright, cool. So yeah, it does charge. That's good. Alright, see, this is what we have to understand.
Ally of the cursed sword. Prepare yourself. Hit my spear. Behold my power.
Wow. See, this is a problem. I gotta figure out if this thing actually is charged or not. Hold on.
It tears asunder. Despicable. Face my fury. Ally of the cursed sword. Prepare yourself.
Alright, so I do this. I'm gonna miss on purpose. Alright.
Face my fury.
Alright, cool. So it does charge the sword. Good.
Ally of the cursed sword.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this and I'm not actually gonna charge. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, cool. So it does charge. That's good. And not only does it charge, it also hides the charge because it doesn't look that much. I can't distinguish a difference between this
Prepare thyself.
being charged and okay, I can somewhat, yeah, I can see the difference. Okay, cool. So
Ally of the cursed sword. Prepare thyself.
yeah, you can't. Hold on, let me see. Am I charged?
Face my fury.
Okay, but I'm not infinitely charged. Oh wow, that's interesting. See, this is the stuff you have to figure out.
Ally of the cursed sword. Prepare thyself.
Am I even charged? Look at this. Am I even charged?
Ally of the cursed sword. Prepare thyself.
Wow, am I even charged? Is it random?
Ally of the cursed sword. Prepare thyself.
Alright, cool, I'm not charged, whatever.
Face my fury.
Alright, cool, so I'm charged.
Face my fury.
Alright, cool, that's important. It's important to know if a charge can be achieved that way. Because this is what makes Hilde a unique character, and this is why the RPG elements are so important. See, as much as I preach not going into practice mode and attributing attacks to memory, because of the tier requirement for Hilde's attacks, you have to know specific inputs, because trying to sit there and guess off of a charge, like if I'm sitting here, I genuinely do not know that I'm going to be able to get a charge off of this,
Prepare thyself.
then this means I have to work for a charge. See, the thing is, without that type of attack, I have to work for a charge. Which means, hold on, let me just go ahead.
Face my fury.
Which means I gotta sit here, and that has to actually land in order for me to actually get a charge.
Face my fury.
Dang, hold on.
Pierce through. Face my fury.
Wow, what's going on? Alright, see, I missed. And see, in order to work for a charge, I have to literally sit here and charge for 3 seconds. It takes 3 seconds in order for this attack to be charged. And then on top of that, I have to, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be sitting here buffing the charge out. Because I have to buff the charge out because you can't, I mean, you could charge from an attack, but it's just, you know, 9 times out of 10, you have to buff it out. So this is a process.
Face my fury.
Now there's some other ways to achieve a charge, and there's attacking a succession. And the reason this is important is because this is basically a more complex. This is a system. This is basically the same system that Cassandra operates on, except it's even more complex. There's another tier to add to it, and as a consequence of it, the character, without being able to go up these tiers, is a lot weaker. And this is the case with Hilde. So you got to sit here and you got to be charging and stuff like that with Hilde. And if you're going to sit there and charge, what's the point? You know, what are you charging for? And once you start to realize what you're charging for, so this is a charge. That's a charge.
Face my fury!
Fight!
Face my fury!
And so what's the practicality of this? Well, against the computer, it's very practical. So there's that.
Face my fury!
Then you have this other charge right here. And that right there is a very easy charge. Other than that, you gotta do that. And so there's something else that needs to be realized with this.
Know your place!
And what else needs to be realized with this is how easy is it to get. See, this is the thing. Achieving a charge like this, it takes 3 seconds, and then on top of that, it has to hit. Now, the good thing about this in Soul Calibur 7 is that it won't be so much of training wheels, because with Hilde, and also because of the nature of Soul Calibur, a lot of charge moves, except for with certain characters like Sophia, unless they're like a raw fighting character, a lot of charge moves are kind of like really good suggestions. So there's that layer of assistance, that layer of value, that layer of importance in learning a character that relies on RPG elements, RPG attacks earlier on, because you're not going to be able to guess this stuff. Now with Hilde, one thing that you will are going to end up learning on your own are things that lead to charge. Because sometimes it's just simply an attack. And that stuff, you know, that type of stuff is stuff you can learn on the fly.
Scales up!
See, I don't need that. I just need to know. Alright, that's important to know. That right there is more information, because I didn't do anything and I have another charge. Okay, and that was just from, okay, I know what that is. So that right there is the charge. And see, this is something you have to be careful of with charging. It it changes the command leg. Does this result in a charge? See, this is a charge move, but this isn't exactly a charge, but it's a semi-charge move. And look how important it is. So on block you completely lose charge. But it puts you in an advantage position. And then on hit, let's see what happens. I think it's on hit it puts you in a safe position. So yeah, that shows you how important that extension is. It's funny because slide inputs in Soul Calibur are always very strong. So let's see what this is. Wow. Those moves, slide inputs in Soul Calibur are always like somewhat, they always have some degree of importance, whether it be because they're extremely strong or because they fill some sort of void the character has. But slide inputs take a lot of consciousness. Alright.
Useless! Feel my Useless! Feel my
Yo, that right there is the information to know.
Useless! Feel my
Yeah, see, that right there is the information to know.
Behold! Enough! Ready? Behold my power! Useless! Useless!
There we go.
Useless!
This is also something to know too, because this is a parry.
Useless! Feel my
Don't think you ring out. Fight.
Useless!
And
Useless.
it doesn't cost anything.
Useless!
So this is
Useless.
good.
Useless! 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 Feel my
So a lot of good things with that.
Useless! Feel my
Being able to charge without charging is one of the best things. And this is where Soul Charge really is what we're really about to have to define really quick with this situation, because if Soul Charge doesn't take advantage of charge moves, then great. If it does, great. But we got to figure this out, because charging, what is the value of a charge?
Scales up.
And if there's not really a value of a charge, it's no. I mean, I don't mind. It's just this is what we have to know. And so the sooner we can get, through these tiers and just be familiar with them, the faster we can kind of learn the character, because that's pretty much what it's about.
With a flash of a flame. Oh no!
Resolve is measured by its results. Providence is with me. Providence is with me. Providence is with me. Providence is with me.
Okay, that's what that means.
Straight of the sword. Continue. Continue. Swear to the spear. Our flag. Hey!
So it's cool.
Our flag. Hey!
So for Hellday, for the most part, soul charging, its greatest value is the extensions it provides in combos, and then also the rate at which you can achieve charge, because it makes it way easier to achieve charge. See, stuff like this is damaging,
Scales up.
and that's not even really what I'm too worried about. But these are good extensions.
Behold my power.
See, I'm not stronger grabs. This right here is a transition. And this is the real value. That right there. Now whether it works on block is what we're gonna find out. This right here is also really valuable, but it says it grants it upon hit. So yeah, once again, this is what we have. So yeah, the objective is really just to go through this and then try to retain as much as you can, and then try to apply these things. Now for Hilde, just for the record, the real value of a charge here is the launch, and the real value of a charge here is basically I'm probably almost certain, even though I don't know, that's definitely a AGA right there. So the only challenge to charging is that charging takes at least 3 seconds, and it takes a level of button input that requires you to learn something that's totally unorthodox to conventional button inputs. And this is one thing that I really like about Soul Calibur, is a lot of the inputs are, even though it's a 3D fighting game, it manages to find really good ways to create inputs. With that said, these inputs make you a lot better at fighting enemies. So that's cool. So yeah, this is what's going on. Just learning these. The other thing is this this thing right here. Hold on.
Behold!
Oh, I learned this the other day. It's unblockable from this, which is kind of hilarious. Maybe I need to be charged for this thing. Yeah, see, understanding how the character is impacted in different states is really important, because you see, this simple stuff like this goes a long way. But here's the thing. I am kind of going out of bounds with this whole going through the command list, but there's this unblockable that you gotta know. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, come on. Whatever, I'll leave that up to my philosophy to prove through. But anyway, there's an unblockable off that. which is hilarious, and I just learned it the good old-fashioned way. But yeah, this way when you play arcade, you have the early objectives with Hill Day, getting over the learning curve. You're basically addressing it immediately, like certain characters, these things are required.
The winds fan the flames of the warriors' fighting spirits.
I shall not fall. At least your stance looks good.
Battle 1. Fight!
An opening.
Wow, that saved the character.
Know your place.
Battle 2. Fight! Battle
No
3.
choice.
Fight!
Providence is with me.
The battle is over. Show respect for the fallen who fought so bravely.
But yeah, it gives you something to focus on, and it gives you
I have no
something
time
to
for silly
practice.
games. Now,
Because the computer
fight me
is
with
going
all
to do
your
what the
resolve.
computer is going to do. And like I said in the beginning, we're not some like day one jabronis. We over here just pushing anything, just like you know what I mean. We straight to the business. We're getting straight to business. But seriously though, with characters like Hill Day, this stuff is really just this stuff is up front, you know. Unless you like having
Warriors
just a good
cross
time.
swords beneath the gaze of the ancient gods.
I will give you a taste of true battle.
Your lust for violence sickens me.
Battle 1. Fight! Battle 2. Fight!
Like, will this ring out?
Battle 3. Fight!
Providence is with me.
Dang.
Claim victory and bask in the glory.
Impressive. I could use a soldier like you.
Make sure there's enough money in these accounts so I can pay these people.
Good luck.
Don't want no checks bouncing, that'd be real embarrassing.
Good luck.
These boy, nothing, you need money.
That's pretty music.
Yeah, it's from
The cacophony
video
of battle
game.
cuts through the deathly silence in an invitation to madness.
I swear on my name, I will prevail!
Let me show you my blade's beauty.
Battle 1. Fight!
So yeah, we're making good time.
Battle 2. Fight!
See, that's the challenge to this transition. Is like, wow, I didn't get a charge off that.
Victory will not come easily. It must be seized. Battle 3. Fight!
Behold my power!
So the thing about Hilde being a charge character is that it uses an aspect of arcade gameplay in the commands. It's interesting. Like the inputs are they're very arcadey inputs, but it's really what's necessary with a character like this.
The battle.
This victory brings my people hope!
And so it's really the right way to make strong characters, to make complex characters, is by making the inputs difficult. So you have this really strict system that pays out. And this is one thing that's lost in character design when you make games that cater to jabronis. Now, like, everyone can wall carry. It's like, what's the point of this head being? The point is, it's difficult for that reason.
In a cursed castle hall, warriors dance in a masquerade of death.
You smell of blood. You shall go no further.
Princess of Wolf Krone. How vexing.
Battle 1. Fight!
Now, one thing that's interesting enough is after
Victory
you
goes to the last one standing.
successfully land charge attacks, it seems as though the charge time is reduced.
Victory will not come easily. It must be seized. Battle 3. Fight!
Behold my power! The war claws! It fights! It tears asunder! Stand and
See, I'm
fight!
gonna have to try harder if I'm gonna get through this level.
The battle is over. Show respect for the fallen who fought so bravely.
Come with me. I have many questions
But it's
I
cool
expect
though,
you
because
to
if I just
answer.
focus on the RPG aspects, it should be more than enough. I think it should be enough.
That's a pretty picture. But that's like, that's not live, right?
It's a video game, so it's kind of like,
So it's not like it's live streaming from any production company or studio or something.
it's like a computer game.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
merchant ship replete with riches attracts more chaos than customers.
I shall not falter, no matter my foe. This is my big moment. I'm in.
Battle 1. Fight!
Okay. Now I remember what that is.
Victory goes to the battle.
That's one of my favorite moves right there.